Next episode, Hellbound. This one is both written and directed by Stephen S. DeKnight.
Well,
Um, he joined our staff last season. He had previously written for Buffy for season 5 and 6. Uh, yeah, this is just his baby. So this aired October 22nd, 2003. I know exactly what I was doing on this day, Logan,
whoa.
because October 21st, 2003 was a Tuesday, and I was going. Okay. I was on my way to Manhattan, Logan. I
hmm
was going to Webster Hall to see a concert, and I received the terrible news on the train platform on the way into the city that Elliot Smith had killed himself.
Do you want to tell me who that is?
Come on.
Oh no.
He's one of the
Elliot.
greatest singer songwriters of all time, who I was obsessed with. He was nominated for an Oscar for his song Miss Misery from the film Good Will Hunting.
Hmm.
Um, he's great.
Oh,
Uh,
he wasn't in a band. He was just a guy. Elliot Smith.
he had been in a band called Heat Miser in the early 90s, but he went solo, and his solo stuff is really his vital stuff. There were 6 albums. One of them came out after he died.
Oh.
Um,
You're
but
such a fan. What's his real first and middle name?
Steven is his real first name.
Yep.
I don't know about middle name.
Paul. Stephen Paul Smith.
Okay. Yeah, Elliot. He
Where was he
violent.
born?
I want to say like Portland or something like that.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh shit.
Raised in Texas.
Oh, I think
And
that's where.
lived most of his life in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. That's where he was living when he died. Um, he stabbed himself
What?
into his chest,
What the fuck?
knifed himself in the heart.
What the
Logan.
fuck? With like a
Yeah.
with a knife or like a dagger. That's how I would
I
do
have
it.
no idea. I have no. I mean, I probably did know at some point. I read
Or a
like everything about
samurai
him.
sword.
Samurai, that would be great. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about that his girlfriend at the time did it, but I think he did it
Same.
himself.
That's the same with Nirvana.
Yeah, and anytime any great artist kills themselves, the fans want to believe that it was some rotten lady.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so so I go to
what should the outro be? I'll do one of his songs.
let me think about it. I'll tell you at the end.
Okay. Okay.
I go to the city to see this show. It's a Barsook Records showcase. They were like an indie label at the time, and they had 5 artists performing at Webster Hall. It was kind of like Spitting opening, then Rilo Kiley, then The Long Winters, then Nada Surf, and Death Cab for Cutie was headlining. This is
Mhm.
kind of before they were a thing, but they were a thing in like cool circles that I was a part of.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So it was sort of like weighing over the whole performance. Like every band did an Elliott Smith cover. They all talked about suicide during their sets.
It's
It
like
was
when
like
Kobe died and we all took the 24-second violation because he was number 24.
Jesus
And then we took the
Christ.
8-second backcourt violation because he was number 8 to start with. That's how we honored Kobe. I saw Timothy Chalamet at the Lakers game the other night. He was wearing a Kobe shirt.
Yeah. One interesting thing about Elliott Smith is that he never violently raped any women
Oh
in
wow.
his whole life. He lived for
Shout
34
out to
years,
him.
not one
That's hard to
violent
do
rape.
to live your whole
Yeah.
life that cleanly.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't do it.
So he oh, so and it was such a bummer of a show. The show ends with Death Cab for Cutie. They playing an Elliott Smith cover. The song was "Say Yes." You could do that one at the end if you
And then
want.
they did I Will Follow You Into the Dark.
No, that song hadn't even been written yet. Um, but fucking Ben Gibbard, the dude from Death Cab, he stops the song like, and he just starts talking. He goes, "What Elliot did tonight," and then he never finished what he said, and he left,
God
and that was
damn.
the end of the show.
Holy shit.
So I went back home in like the weirdest mood, and I was so bummed out. And then the next day at school, which was the day this episode aired,
Mm-hmm.
um, I remember telling my mom that morning that Elliot Smith killed himself, and she apparently
And she said no, his girlfriend did
no,
it.
she called my school and told them like my son might be a mess today.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so like the first two periods, I had like a film class and an English class. And so like I liked those classes. I was able to get through it. And then I fucking lost it. And I just started crying in the hallway and like
Jesus Christ.
freaking out. And
Did you go home?
yeah, they sent me to the nurse's office, and the nurse was like, your mom called and like warned us this might happen.
Wow, she knew.
Yeah, yeah.
Good for her. That's
And,
crazy.
and they and she apparently even said like he likes his first couple classes, so it might happen later in the day.
Wow, she's great.
Yeah, yeah, I have a
Shout out to
good
her.
mom. I know. Um and
None of my family never knew the order of my classes. That's crazy.
yeah. Well, you had so many fucking kids.
I know. You're right. You're right.
They so yeah, then they sent me home. I
Wow.
went and
Go mourn in peace.
I did, and then I watched this episode of Angel later that night.
Wow, that's pretty good. And you're ready to go the next day,
That's
Thursday
right.
morning. That's what a story.
Yeah.
Were your
Um,
friends fans too, or you were like the only one?
I had some friends that I'd gotten into him.
Yeah.
So like I remember I had this friend Scott Winokur that was really into him, and I that's when I freaked out in the hallway. Was I ran into Scott and I was like, "Did you hear about Elliot?" And he
Yeah.
said no, and I told him,
No, what the heck?
yeah, um,
So you had to break it to him.
yeah, yeah, and that's when I
You
broke
broke
down.
down, breaking it to him.
Hmm.
That's horrible. That was like Henry when he found out Kubrick died. Probably had a similar day.
Yeah. Me and Scott Winokur, we had like nothing in common except that we both liked Elliott Smith and Chuck Palahniuk novels. Like the only time we hung out like maybe three times the entirety of high school, and I think all three times we were going to a Chuck Palahniuk book signing.
Oh, that's nice. Sometimes
Yeah.
it just takes a couple things to bond
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. I wonder what he's doing these days.
Let's have him on. Let's cover one of Chuck Palahniuk's franchises.
Does he have any franchises? I don't think so.
You know more than me.
There was a graphic novel sequel to Fight Club. I know that.
Okay.
Um, listen, Logan,
Mm-hmm.
tell me your thoughts on Hellbound.
Okay. Cat just shoved the toy under the door, and now he's like trying to reach the toy,
Oh
but he's not gonna
God.
be able to get it. So this is gonna be bad. Anyway, Fred gets to work, and Spike tries to scare her, but she doesn't fall for it, right? She
Uh,
tries to like give him
oh,
the
that's
benefit of the
right.
doubt.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Spike, you scared me. He's trying to like flex his ghost muscles a little bit, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
a ghost. Ooh. Pretty fun. But Fred says, "I know how to. I'll help you out. Don't even worry about it." But then he falls. Oh, here was what we were talking about last week. Like he falls through the floor. But why doesn't he keep falling through the floor? Why does he just land like on
I
the
don't
level below?
understand ghost rules. Ghosts, I I mean, listen, I believe in a lot of bullshit, but ghosts do not exist. I don't buy it. I've heard so many ghost stories. People tell me my sister believes she saw a ghost once.
Mm-hmm.
I it bullshit.
You never had any experience.
I've had experiences, but
And how's it
I'm
not real?
sure there's an explanation.
So if you had experiences, how do you not believe?
Because when you're dead, you're dead. The ghost rules. None of them make
Sometimes
sense.
dead is
It's all.
better.
It's where's that from?
Pet cemetery.
Don't
I don't
go down that road.
know. I had like I feel like when I was little, I heard something say, "Logan," and I was like, "Oh my god, someone just whispered my name."
Probably your brother or something.
But I think I just made that up or something. I don't know. I don't believe in it either.
It's
I think I
nonsense.
just scare myself sometimes.
Yeah, we all do.
I've seen too many
And the
movies.
dumb among us have to be like, well, if I'm scared, it must be because
It's the
there's a
Bye Bye
ghost.
Man. It's really
Yeah.
the Bye Bye Man.
The Bye Bye Man. I fucking love the Bye Bye Man.
Shout
Shout
out
out to
to.
Jonathan Penner and his lady, Stacy Title, RIP. Um,
I'd
Logan.
love nothing more than if Jonathan Penner was on Survivor 50, by the way.
Oh, same. That
That
has 100% occurred to me.
my
And I,
heart would explode of joy.
Jonathan Penner would be like maybe my number one choice to be on the Traders.
He would be up there. I don't know about number one, but he would be like top. Are we like number one Survivor choice or just number one
Yeah,
choice
like
of anybody?
now that we've gotten like Sari, Sandra, Rob out of the way.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Parvati. I mean, yeah,
And Parvati, yeah.
but I would just love. I would love like Amanda Kimmel. She would be up there. I'd rather have her, Jerry, and Colby on the same seat. Jerry was on RHAP this week. I saw.
I saw that too. I saw a
That's pretty
screenshot of it.
fun.
Mm-hmm. She's definitely beyond 50.
I think so too.
Logan,
Rob could be
keep go-
too.
keep going. He's not gonna be on there.
He's been rumored. I saw like a rumored cast. It said Rob C in
Really?
talks. Yeah,
That would be very, very fucking cool.
it would be very cool. Yeah, I forgot where we even were. Oh, his Spike falls to the ground. And there's like a guy cutting off his fingers. Like, oh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. This episode's like dark and gross. I remember it had like a viewer warning at the beginning when it aired.
Wow.
Yeah, like this might be a little much for you fellas. So he's up.
I didn't notice it was that bad even, but whatever.
It just had a lot of shit like that.
The glass in the eye. There's like a
Yeah,
woman with a glass.
the woman with the no arms.
Ooh, what happened? What was her accident? How'd she have no arms?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But Spy, we get the credits. I thought late credits a little bit. And then Wesley, I feel like I got his title for the first time. He said, I'm the head of research and intelligence. That's pretty cool. Wesley, shout out to you. And he's like, Fred, come on, we got to get some sleep. Not together, not together. You need to get some sleep and a meal because you're not eating or sleeping. That's nice. He's looking out for her. And then she turns around and Eve is there, scares her. I thought it was funny that it started out with Spike trying to scare her and she faked it. And then she turned around and Eve really did scare her.
Oh, good call.
I like that a lot. And then she tells her, "You're over $800,000 on the budget, Fred. What are you doing in your science department?"
She's like, I'm trying to make Spike corporeal. And Angel's
You're
like,
what?
You're doing that?
What?
What?
He did not like that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He was like, I don't know. I do not want Spike to be corporeal. But he does tell Spike something very nice. He says, I really liked your poems. I never told you that.
Yeah, I thought that was really sweet.
That was adorable. And Spikes keeps seeing some ghosts. There's like a spooky blonde lady that like comes at him. One has glass in her eye. There's the one you mentioned. And then we like get this. I wrote sexy medium lady. Even Gunn
Oh yeah.
thought so.
She was a pretty sexy lady.
Yeah, Gunn's like, what? We're gonna have some person show up. Ooh, who are you? And then we see.
I'll tell you what's not medium.
Oh, your looks. I wrote Fred in shower? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. And then Spike goes up and writes Reaper on the thing.
Yeah, he's learning to like touch stuff even though he's incorporeal. He like holds a glass at the end of the episode.
He learns like if I want it bad enough, I can do it, basically. Yeah. I wanted him to write it like red rum, like in the mirror, and then she has to repair.
Great.
And then she Reaper. Oh shit. But then that guy shows up. I don't know what I thought of the Reaper. He wasn't that intimidating. He was just like a guy, I thought.
I like this actor. He's a journeyman. He does mostly voice work.
Who even was he? Simon Templeman as Matthias Pavane?
Yeah.
Should be credited as Reaper. Was he the Reaper? Right. I was a little confused.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Armless Woman.
But I don't think like he's the Grim Reaper. I think he's just like a killer named Reaper.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I couldn't quite tell if she actually said this wrong or if I was losing my mind or not. Fred at 3415, if anyone's curious, says it's the equivalent of nuclear evil.
She did say that. I 100% noticed that.
Fred,
Well, she is from Texas.
So what? You're like the science lead. You can't be saying nuclear evil. That was like pretty despicable. And then we go to the White Room, Gunn and Angel, and Gunn like pets the panther. I thought that was fun. He's like, hey kitty kitty, I'm gonna pet you. And we referenced that girl, the Panda Baker. Last time it
Hmm.
was that evil little girl. And so Spike starts like hitting the bad guy. If I want it bad enough, I can do whatever. And the Reaper goes to Fred as she's trying to like make Spike corporeal, and he has to decide: do you want to be corporeal or do you want to save Fred, the girl, or being corporeal? And so he saves Fred because he's a nice guy, and it's great. And then he at the end he like lifts the drink and says like I can do stuff that I set my mind to or whatever. And then we keep the Reaper locked up in a freaking locker. That's where you lock
Yeah.
things up in a locker. And the Reaper's there, and we're like,
They gave him a
see
little
you
window.
later. See you later,
Yeah.
buddy. Eve and Angel are there. I liked Eve this episode. I thought she was good.
Yeah, I liked Eve more this episode too.
She was locked in.
I grow to like Eve. I just think
So does
she
Joss.
yeah, all right. I just think she's set up as this like fucking baller character in the first episode, and it doesn't really land.
That's fine,
Um,
yeah.
fucking, I'm not a big fan of this episode.
I think it's my least favorite of the first four.
For my ranking, bring me back to where I had the ring, but read me down now.
Okay. So the ring was at what, 70? So Blood Money, Dad, Expecting, Somnambulist, the Jeremy Renner one. I saw a thing, an interview with Jeremy Renner. They offered him to do Hawkeye and they were going to give him half the money of
I
season
saw that
two.
too. What is Marvel doing?
That was fucking, I was disrespected in that moment. That was fucking horrible. Eternity, Parting Gifts, Lonely Heart, The Bachelor Party, Sacrifice, Double or Nothing, Sense and
uh,
Sensitivity. There's still about 10 more episodes.
no, no. You could put this. What was after the bachelor party?
Under it was Sacrifice, then Double or Nothing, Sense and Sensitivity.
You could put this under sacrifice.
All right, so between Sacrifice, Double or Nothing, it's your new 81. And I would put it under, I think I'd go like between Lonely Heart, or no, between Room with a View and That Old Gang of Mine, 79.
Wow. You're still doing room with a view.
Well, I look at it, so I'm reading it as I do it
Yeah.
every time. It's
All
very
right.
fun.
Room with a view. Who's your MVP of this one?
I gotta go with Fred for this one.
Yeah, that's good.
Shower time.
Jesus. And LVP?
What do you think? The Reaper? I think I'd go
Yeah,
Reaper.
maybe Pavane.
Sorry to him.
Mhm.
Simon Templeman. What did he go on to do?
I took a lot of voice work. He does a lot of like video game
Dragon Age
voices.
Origins. All the Dragon Age, Diablo 4.
He's also the Legacy of Kane, that franchise. He's the voice of Kane.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft. Oh, he's in the one episode of the Orville.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of voice stuff. Fallout 76, Wastelanders.
The Witcher.
Whoa! In the show Elementary, you ever watch that?
A little bit.
He played a character Ronald Adair.
Wow. Adair.
I rarely ever see that. I think Richard Linklater, somebody's editor is named Sandra Adair.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Oh, he was a regular on this show, The Neighbors, that ran for like 2 seasons. It was like a sitcom involving aliens.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's this episode.
That's this episode. Let's hear from our listeners.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then I'll
Laura.
tell you what's next week, and then I gotta go to work.
Laura says Lilith and she's telling us on about Lilith and Eve. Lilith and Eve originate in biblical texts, but I suppose they have passed into a commonly shared mythology. In the story, Lilith was Adam's first wife, but in today's parlance, she wasn't in her divine feminine energy. So God created Eve to be a more. Whoa, Eve wasn't even the first woman. We had this bitch Lilith. You're telling me? Is that what's going on? I always heard Adam and Eve.
Was Eve created out of Adam's rib?
That's way above what I know.
I think that's a thing.
That's nuts. How does that even happen?
I don't know.
What? All right. So maybe Eve will be more of an ally to the team than Lila was. Laura, this is very smart. This is really good. I feel like there's a sort of character that show up in Neil Gaiman's works a lot, just to mention someone who is way more problematic than Whedon. Wow, what'd he do?
Yeah, fair. Oh, I don't want to get into Neil Gaiman. I was a big Neil Gaiman fan, and that was like the Whedon stuff. I'm able to get past that and just like he's an imperfect, uh, you know, fucking dickhead.
Yeah,
But like Neil Gaiman did some bad shit.
I'll have to look it up, I guess.
Yeah,
Some stars there. The leather jacket is back. I didn't notice which one, Spikes or
Spikes.
Angels? Oh, Angel. I guess he gave his away to Buffy. He never got it back. That
No.
sucks. She should send him a picture of her in Europe wearing the jacket. We should get a postcard
Oh,
of her in the jacket. That'd be nice. I'm not happy with how they showed Nina, a bit too exploitative for my taste. Like chained up, ripping her clothes off and all that.
did you like it even less when we wouldn't stop talking about her nipples on this
Yeah,
episode?
that was bad. I got
Yeah.
over it because it was all women making that show.
Oh, yeah. I
But
guess.
I was like, this is weird. But then I realized like it's all women. But I mean, it can still be weird. This must be the source of Daniel's idea that rich people get together in secret to eat humans. Yeah, we talked about
Mm.
that. I loved that conversation between Spike and Angel. I've been wondering if they ever really liked each other and never realized they have the same name. What? And I never realized they have the same name, but of course, Liam is short for William.
Yeah,
What the hell? Is that
that's
true?
all true.
Liam
Yeah,
is short for William?
Liam is short for William. So Spike and
Laura,
Angel have the
why are you
same
not
first
hosting this
name.
podcast? You're so smart. You want to
Honestly,
you want to take
Laura's
my spot?
fucking
This
killing
would
it
be
this
so much
week.
better.
If we
His
invited Laura on before Josh, I feel like Josh would kill himself.
oh no, I don't want to find out. It's great that Spike gets some agency in this episode instead of waiting around for someone to save him. Agreed. Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm with Tim, by the way. I'd advocate for the X Files too.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's two in the X Files bucket. And then Josh says, reflecting back about Buffy, from beneath you it devours. Oh yeah. Everyone seemed to agree on that, and it was an intriguing hook. But what did it actually mean? Yes, there was evil underground, but did it devour? No, because we saved the world. It could have, but we stopped it, right?
I guess that's the answer.
Yes, there was an evil underground. Oh, here you said that. Was it the first devouring the edifices of the eve of the dead? Feels like a stretch. Explain. I think it could have devoured, but Buffy's so badass she saved the world. And
Oh.
Spike. I can't believe the Angel promo spoiled Spike surviving. I didn't catch that. That's criminal.
No, that's what I told you about where they announced that Spike was going to Angel like two
Oh,
weeks before Buffy ended.
yeah, that's fucking a disaster.
Yeah.
And then he says, Angel 1, a light drizzle of white truffle oil is never quietly surprising. What the fuck was that sentence?
That's they said that's how they were preparing the werewolf. The light.
White truffle oil?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. You never had any truffle shit?
What's a truffle oil?
It's just a liquefied truffle.
Oil sounds weird. It's always loudly gross. If a werewolf bites a vampire, do we get a werewolf vampire?
I would love to find
I
out.
would love to find out. By the way, I was gonna make a joke earlier when I was like, is Nina gonna always wear long sleeves? I was gonna do like, is she always gonna wear long sleeve? Emphasis on the wear.
Great. Great.
Because wear.
I'm glad you went. I'm so glad you went
I
back
had
to
to
it.
circle back. I could
Mhm.
left. I would have let like into the podcast and been like, "Oh shit!" Left a great joke on the table. Fred called Spike a champion, but I beat her to the punch in my award-winning extensive Buffy finale comments. Did he already do that?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they don't like that word. Angel is like, "Quit calling me a fucking champion." I hate that. Or did Spike say that? I don't remember. I appreciate this show's repeated use of the word flunky. I don't remember that once. When did that happen?
That does happen.
I don't remember. I like this one overall, but there were moments that didn't work. I'm still high alert regarding Spike's legacy. What? His legacy? That's not in question, is it?
He's worried that he was so happy with the ending Spike got on Buffy. He's a little worried they're
Oh yeah,
gonna
he's there
fuck it
making
up on
bad
this
or
one.
whatever.
But I think you could ease up. Like the Spike's treated very well on Angel.
Good. Yeah.
Um,
It just wouldn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know. I love him too much.
It's all in character, I promise. All right. Anyway, next week on the show, big Lauren episode, Life
Oh
of the
shit.
Party.
Yeah, we haven't had him in a bit.
Yeah, that's the next one, Life of the Party. And then after that is episode 6, The Cautionary Tale of Numero Cinco,
Hmm?
which is about that lucha male person that we've
That
seen a
means
couple
number
times.
5.
Yep,
Life of the That was a Melissa McCarthy movie, right?
it sure was.
She like goes back to college to like hang
Something
out with
like
her
that.
daughter, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. All right, that'll be fun. I'm very excited. I'm liking Angel season 4 or season 5 so far.
Great. Glad
Excited
to
to see
hear
where it
it. It,
goes.
it only gets better.
Well,
L
not next
Dog,
week, not episode 6.
it's okay. I like the Lauren one a lot though. That
Is
one's
it
a
the
fun.
worst of the first 6, you think?
No, I think this one probably was Hell
Okay,
Bound.
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
The replay was
Um
so boring. It really
okay.
was.
All right. We'll be back next week and have a lovely bye.